All right, Mayor. I was wondering, first of all, what you think of some of the changes as far as cap on pensions and the lowering of the age from 57 to 55 in this bill.
Well, from the IML standpoint, we want to see the age at 60. This moves it down to 55. Some of the other changes that aren't going in the direction we'd like to see it go, obviously, will have a negative impact on our ability to make our payments into the system. The penalty provision, without some of the other reform elements, we'd like to see, again, could be problematic. All that being said, we got to move forward with something, and we need to do it now. We could come back. We will be back in the spring, as I alluded to in my comments, ultimately dealing with, as I said, the elephant in the room. This doesn't even, we're debating about what's going to happen with future employees when we're not doing any hiring, right? So what the real question is, what about all the existing employees, the existing retirees? And we're kidding ourselves, and we're not doing the job we need to do as trustees and fiduciaries for them if we're suggesting that somehow this bill, if it passes, is going to deal with all of our problems. It's not. We're going to have to come back. We're going to have to ultimately deal with the fact that we have a system for the existing employees and the existing retirees that's not sustainable.
So the existing employees, their benefits would have to be changed too, do you think, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. And if it doesn't get changed by the state legislature, I believe we'll wind up with funds that are in default, bondholders that will be screaming, angry. And this isn't a problem just with Illinois. This is a problem nationwide. And my hope would be that when we come back in the spring, we're looking at additional reforms that will allow for reorganizing communities' funds and allowing really to deal with those existing retirees, existing retirees, existing employees. It may need to be in somewhat a case-by-case basis, but the mechanism I think we need to have is some form of the state making it easier for a Chapter 9 style reorganization, which is allowed under the bankruptcy code.
Is that your position, or is that the municipal league?
That's my position. Okay. That's my position personally. But I read the financial papers. I see what's happening across the nation, across the world. We're dealing with potentially another bubble in the marketplace. It's, again, all my opinion, that nobody else's. But I just know what we're projecting as a city, barring some phenomenal. I mean, hey, anything can happen, right? If the economy bounces back and we start seeing incredible improvements in our everyday revenue and in our market returns, maybe a different case. But what I can tell you is that, as it was alluded to by several others, when you have 3% automatic annual compounding increases to the retirees and all the existing employees' benefits at a time when you're not getting anything close to that in terms of real returns and revenue in your cities. Rockford, we're down 13% revenue since 2008. Guess what? Our expenses per employee are up. Even though our existing employees may have taken a pay freeze in this last year, all of our retirees, and we have more firemen who are retired than active, all of them got a 3% compounding increase to what they're taking home. So it's a system right now that I can just tell you it's not sustainable. As I call it, it's warfare between our existing employees, our retirees, and our taxpayers.
The amortization changes they made, were those satisfactory to you, the ones that he's putting in the bill, or did you want something else?
Well, I would like to see, as others suggested, a rolling amortization, but if we can get it done and get a bill passed, it will provide some immediate relief. As I projected, the numbers I had, most current numbers, about $1.3 million in savings for the city of Rockford. But the bill has to get done for us to achieve those savings. The bill has to get passed and put into law before the first of the new year.
So it's $1.3 million under the changes they made, or under the changes you want?
Under the changes that were discussed by Representative McCarthy, dealing simply with a closed new amortization schedule of 30 years. That gives us some additional time that we wouldn't otherwise have to make our payments. For us, that means some significant savings in the immediate year. Remember, we're talking about just in 1 year in Rockford, just for police and fire, a $3.5 million increase in our payments from 2010 to 2011. 2010 was about $1.5 million from the year before. So these are huge numbers, and when you don't have new revenue, in fact your revenue's down, that means you're laying people off, and unfortunately, like I said, we've laid off about everybody else that we could. What's left are police officers. We can't lay off any firemen and get any savings because of a minimum manning requirement that's been read into our contract by an arbitrator.